door, pulls out my permit, hands it over and says, "Don't screw it up." And I felt like the whole time I was asking for permission. I was filling out applications. I was subjecting myself to background checks, photographs, fingerprints, a process that seemed unlike any other right that I had enumerated to me in the Constitution and other civil rights. And I'm saying, this doesn't feel like a right. This feels a whole lot more like I'm asking my parents if I can sleep over my friend's house tonight. It was not an example of our enumerated rights. So while gathering some thoughts about this, I went back to the original document, the Declaration of Independence, and it says, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. That unalienable part, if you break it down, it's unalienable, it's unattachable, it's fill in the blank, whatever condition or thing you want to put on that would inhibit or impinge or obstruct your right. That means everything that's happened since we've become a country when it comes to the Second Amendment is unconstitutional. And we sit here in some sort of Stockholm syndrome and get used to asking permission for something that is a right granted to us by our Creator. And somewhere along the line, the script has been flipped. And now all of a sudden, it's like government gives us privilege. And I know that's not the people in this group. I'm not, yelling at anybody here. I'm guilty of it myself as I sit there and ask permission. And believe me, I'm a gun store. So I deal in this business. So I pin stocks, I pin flash hiders, muzzle brakes, I take flash hiders off and put muzzle brakes on, and I have threaded barrels, and I have folding things, and I'm doing all this stuff. I'm jumping through hoops because I have always felt that it's more important to be in the game and to be able to make incremental changes and change the heart of men and women over time through soft and small little changes as we go. But at this point, they have painted us into a corner. They have thrown the gauntlet down. They have crossed the line in the sand and put people that are gun stores and law-abiding, peaceful citizens into a position where you can't sit idly by and do nothing. So if anyone's ever seen the YouTube video of how to start a movement, there's some guy dancing on the hill all by himself, kind of crazy. If you haven't seen it, you got to go see it because it's pretty entertaining. But the point I'm trying to make is, I called John Green right after I read this bill, and I said, John, this is not something I can comply with. At this point, our rights are being trampled on underfoot, and the small incremental changes by me being in the game, knowing that we can win hearts and minds along the way, that's all out the window now. This is a point in time where I can no longer sit idly by and play the game in hopes that it gets better. And he says, what are you trying to say to me? Are you saying that you're willing to be arrested in your gun store? And I said, yes, at this point I am. I appreciate that. I really do. I really appreciate that. The truth of the matter is, they want to put us out of business one way or another. They're in it for the long game. And so I can no longer say it's better to be it's better to be in the game and comply with this nonsense. So I'm hoping that we can start a movement together and we can see 600,000 gun owners in this state say, no, I will not comply. I shall not comply. And I don't have a plan B. So I'm in this for the long haul. I'm almost laugh at the amount of times people ask me, why do you live in Massachusetts? And that's a question that we all have to come to terms with at some point in our life. But the truth of the matter is, I have deep roots here, my family's here, my businesses are here, it's where I am, right? It's my culture, it's my home. And there's many a times I've thought, yeah, it's not worth the pain. But I promise you one thing, if we flee the state, trouble will follow. I don't care what state you go to, they're not gonna be happy with just Massachusetts being the only one. It's gonna come. So this is the time, this is our moment, they forced us into it. They painted us into the corner, and they're gonna, like Jim said, they're gonna F around and find out. And the bottom line is, I think that it's really great that Massachusetts has history going for it, that we were the birthplace of freedom. We were where the shot heard around the world happened. And we can also be the next revolution of saying, this madness ends here and now. We don't have time to wait for courts to make everything right. Let's all stand together as patriots, arm in arm, and do it together. 600,000 strong. God bless you guys. Thank you so much.